morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for having me. And I want to thank Carrie, my daughter, and Leora for inviting me to come share with you about cotton. And I'll be sharing a little bit about cotton and how it played a large part in the Civil War. And then I'll share what I do in growing cotton today and how we produce cotton and how it's harvested and how it's turned into what we wear, which is our clothes. I grow cotton on my farm near Corpus Christi, which is about a 3-hour drive from San Antonio towards the south. Okay, you all know what cotton is used for, right?
Yes.
For making our clothes. Also, when you harvest cotton, the cotton has seed in the cotton. And the seed has to be taken out of the cotton so we can make cloth out of it to make clothes. The seed is about the size of a bean, so it has to be taken out of the cotton. Otherwise, our clothes would be real bumpy, like we had beans in our clothes. So, before the Civil War, and I'm guessing maybe 30 or 40 years, there was a large demand for cotton. But to grow cotton and to extract the seed from cotton, it was very labor intense. One person could only take seed out of the cotton and come up with 1 pound of clean lint cotton at the end of a day, which was very labor intense. So farmers were having a hard time deciding whether it was going to be a profitable crop to grow, because it took so much labor to extract the seed from the lint, to separate it. I don't know what they did with the seed 150 years ago. They probably fed it to their animals, which it is an excellent feed. But today, cotton seed is used for many other things, along with as a food source for cattle, chickens, hogs. It's very high in protein. But it also produces an oil when it's crushed that is used as a cooking oil, and it's considered a vegetable oil. And also the oil can be used as a fuel oil that's mixed with diesel, and it's used to run trucks and tractors. And that is called biodiesel. Okay, then came along a man who figured out a way to make a machine that would take the seed out of the cotton, and it speeded up the process 50 times. Do y'all know what the name of the man that invented this machine, which was called the cotton gin? His name was, you know?
The Wright brothers.
No, that was the airplane. But it was a about the same period of time that this man, his name was Eli Whitney, and he invented the cotton gin, which we have a small cotton gin over here on the table, which is much larger than the gin that Eli Whitney built. And this is it here, and it has a very small handle on it that one person would feed the cotton into the gin and turn the handle and be able to separate 50 pounds of lint cotton in one day, which increased productivity 50 times. So this then made cotton much more profitable to the farmer to grow, because before the cotton gin, 1 pound a day is only all that one person could produce. Now they could do 50 pounds a day. So there was a great need for more people to plant the cotton, to cultivate the cotton, to harvest the cotton, and then to run these little gins to separate the seed from the cotton. And cotton was a very expensive commodity in Europe. But before the cotton gin, it was too expensive to grow it. And so there was a lot of interest lost in growing cotton until Eli Whitney made the gin. So the need for more workers, more laborers to grow this crop now, to harvest it and to gin it, slaves were brought to America to do this work. And so slaves were brought by the thousands by ship to work these cotton farms.
Now we're going to watch a video that shows a current day gin. So you can see, and this, is this the one that was filmed by a drone?
No, this is when we take a cotton module to the gin, and this is the process that it comes out as separated from the seeds.
You can see it's just laying the bale down. We'll pull this tarp off, which is our transport tarp that comes from the field. The truck's just going to walk this forward nice and slow. Let the bale sit down on the ground. As you can see here, we're just going to set it down. Then we'll go ahead and start the piranha up and start eating on the cotton. So this is how we load it. Set them in here. Put our cotton bale in the process. The cotton going into the piranha. As I said, you got a series of rollers in there pulling it apart. You can see the cotton taking the ceiling in there. It's falling apart. It's running through a street cleaner. It's dropping it on this conveyor. The clean cotton is coming out of that auger, which is coming down and getting sucked up pneumatically and running in the cotton gin right here through the air system. Here's the stage cotton coming through, running through the gin, separating the cotton from the cotton seed. Cotton seed's coming out of the bottom. Now we're coming through here, we're coming into our bale press. Here we're making our bales, we're pressing our rams. This is where we'll make our 450 to 500 pound bale.
X out or it's gonna
Escape,
yeah.
yeah.
Go to the bottom.
There's 15 square bars there.
Yeah, click that. And then
Now you hit the X. Just hit the X and then go back.
no, it's not at the top right.
Cancel.
It's on the right. Top right. Top right.
There we go.
Okay, thanks, guys.
No, it's still playing.
The Murrumbidgee irrigation area, also known as
Hold on.
is situated
Click
in
your button. PSK.
irrigation area.
So did that bale of cotton, was that 500 pounds, that bale of cotton?
How much
That
pounds?
guy, that guy lifted that
Please
500
like
pounds?
Ernest.
He carried that 500 pounds?
He had a cart,
Yeah.
that he put on a cart, which is, now our newer, this was probably filmed 20 years ago.
Oh, really?
And now it's all mechanized, it comes off of the press, it goes into a conveyor, goes into a bag, automatically goes into the truck, and then it's transported to the mill.
This is the next slide. Is this what you want?
Yeah, did everybody read that? Yeah, because cotton production increased so rapidly, the price of cotton dropped to half of what it was during the Civil War, which was still profitable because they could produce 50 times more in a day's time with one man's labor. And this shows how the price went from 1850s down to the period of time of the Civil War of 1864, 1865. Price of cotton got almost to $2 a pound.
And then after the Civil War, it dropped because the production was up, like supply and demand.
Right.
And what is the price today?
Today, unbelievably, cotton is in between. Right now, we're selling cotton at the same price we did in 1862. We're selling cotton for 61 cents a pound, so it's below the 69.5 cents a pound.
And if you take in consideration of inflation,
Yeah,
it's a lot less.
And actually,
Oh, sorry.
I think this is correct. This $1.90 of what a dollar was worth in 1865, that would be equivalent to $65 a pound. And today we're selling cotton for 69 cents a pound. If we were selling cotton for $65 a pound, your shirt would probably cost $300 or maybe $500. But due to mechanization and harvesting or growing our crops with very large tractors and very large gins and harvest equipment, we produce millions of bales in America. We grow about 14 to 15 million acres of cotton a year, and Texas grows about 5,000 of those acres. And so we produce, myself, I produce 600 to 1,000 bales on my farm per year. And back in the slave days, one farmer could probably only produce maybe 4 or 5 bales. So the volume that we produce today, we still can continue to stay in the farming business, but right now at 69 cents a pound, we're at a break-even price. We really need 80 or 90 cents per pound to make a profit.
Okay, you're gonna tell them how it's done now?
Yeah, This is our modern day planter that we plant in early spring, which is in March in our area. The farther north you go, they're planting cotton right now. Our cotton was planted the 1st of March. I brought a plant, and it is almost halfway to maturity. And this is our harvest equipment that we harvest our cotton with. You'll see a video in a minute with these machines in operation. This is where we take the cotton from the machine. It goes into a compactor that compacts it into the large bale you saw that had a cover on it a while ago. And then that is hauled to the gin, and you will see that compactor in operation in the next video, which is called a cotton module builder. This slide in a 500-pound bale tells you how many garments you get out of a bale of cotton. You can get 215 pairs of jeans out of one bale of cotton, 249 bed sheets, 409 men's sports shirts, 690 bath towels, dress shirts 765, men's t-shirts 1,275, 1,217, and pillowcases 1,256, and
Diapers.
diapers.
Cotton for diapers, huh?
I think they still put cotton in some diapers, but whenever 30, 40 years ago, all diapers were cloth diapers made out of cotton. Okay, if you multiply jeans at 215 pair, you can, I didn't get the number calculated on that, but what's a pair of jeans cost today?
Depends on the brand.
Depends on the brand. $50 or $100 a pair. Out of this bale of cotton, out of this whole bale of cotton, the farmer gets $300 at the price of 61 cents a pound today. But it does go through a lot of processes that turns it into cloth, and then it turns it in, and then it's made into garments.
What's the 21,960?
Women's handkerchiefs.
Read them on the bottom though, that's kind of cool.
$100 bill.
Oh, $100 bill. Use
Oh,
cotton for
oh yeah. Our currency, our dollar bills and $100 bills are 75% cotton. You can wash a dollar bill in the washing machine, and it does not come apart. People call it paper money, but actually it's cotton money.
Okay, ready for the next video?
Yeah, we'll do the next video. This is a gym, the building that the gym housed in.
She's golden blue, teaches school. Some folks say it isn't cool, but she says the pledge of allegiance anyway. He's got the red, white, blue, flying high on a farm. Semper Fi, tat on his left arm. Spent a little more in the store for a
All these photos or video was done from a drone. You all hear about drones and what they can do.
So it used to be hand picked, but now they have these machines that are called cotton pickers or cotton pickers. And it sucks the cotton right out of the plant.
Semper Fi, tattooed on his left arm. Spent a little more in the store for a tag in the back that says USA. Old man and an NEK fix with WD-40 and a Craftsman wrench. He ain't prejudiced.
This part takes it from the machine in the field and it takes it to the module builder, the compactor, and then it empties into the compactor.
Made in America. Yeah, no man, so man. Made in America.
This is the storage facilities where they store the bales after their gyms, all of those buildings.
And on the 8th day, God looked down on his planned paradise and said, I need a caretaker. So God made a farmer. God said, I need somebody willing to get up before dawn, milk cows, work all day in the fields, milk cows again, eat supper, then go to town and stay past midnight at a meeting of the school board. So God made a farmer. God said, I need somebody willing to sit up all night with a newborn colt and watch it die and dry his eyes and say, maybe next year. I need somebody who can shave an axe handle from a persimmon sprout, shoe a horse with a hunk of car tire, who can make harness out of hay, wire, feed sacks, and shoe scraps, who planting time and harvest season will finish his 40-hour week by Tuesday noon and then painting from tractor back put in another 72 hours. So God made a farmer. God said, I need somebody strong enough to clear trees and heave bales, yet gentle enough to yean lambs and wean pigs and tend the pink-combed pullets, who will stop his mower for an hour to splint the broken leg of a meadowlark. So God made a farmer. It had to be somebody who'd plow deep and straight and not cut corners. Somebody to seed, weed, feed, breed, and rake and disc and plow and plant and tie the fleece and strain the milk. Somebody who'd bail a family together with the soft, strong bonds of sharing. Who would laugh and then sigh and then reply with smiling eyes when his son says that he wants to spend his life doing what Dad does. So God made a farmer.
And then we have cotton and the cotton gin, if we can have, maybe by class coming up, or, okay, question, yeah.
Are there any questions? Questions? Okay, Jake has a question for you.
Okay.
How many people work on your farm?
I have one full-time employee and one part-time employee during harvest time.
John?
What happens if you miss cotton, like a cotton layer?
If you miss it while you're plowing it, if they miss it, what happens
They're
if you
pulling
ever?
it, like it gets left in the field.
When you're harvesting?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have time to go back, so our harvest machinery is actually steered by GPS. So, there's very little error in the steering of our harvest
How much does one of those machines cost?
That harvest machine, I think you saw 3 or 4 of them in the field, they cost between $250,000 and $300,000, depending on how many rows it
And you got
takes.
about 4 of them?
No, I have one.
Question? Yes. How long have you worked on the farm? Is that what you said?
This is my 54th year.
But what did you do when you were a kid?
And I started farming when I was 2.
Don't believe it.
Well, his grandpa made him go out in the field with a sack and right?
Yeah, and that was the part that I missed in telling you in the first slide was the slaves harvest the cotton. They started harvesting in baskets, but then they progressed into these long bags that they put on a strap on their shoulder, and they would put the cotton in.
So they would pick the cotton like this, but it's full of thorns, isn't it?
Well,
Or-
it does have pointed deals that they learn that you put your fingers in between the thorns to extract the cotton.
Aaron?
How long does it take cotton to grow?
How long does it take cotton to grow?
About 130 days.
So you plant it in March, so you'll cultivate
Harvest
it or
it.
harvest it?
Harvest in early July to the end of August. It depends on the amount of rainfall. We don't have irrigation, so we are totally dependent on water that comes from the sky. And if we have a lot of rain, then the plant continues to grow and make more cotton. But if you have very little rain, it matures.
So do you keep the same plant, or what do you pick up the plants after you take the cotton out?
We totally destroy the plants after we harvest, and then the next year we put in new seed and start a new.
So they don't
new
just,
plant.
it's like corn, they don't,
Right.
they can't
They
live
don't
after year
reproduce,
after year.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Question?
What happens when it rains? When it rains, what happens to the cotton?
It gets wet.
During cotton harvest, you wait until the sun comes out and the sun dries the cotton.
Doesn't hurt it at all or anything?
Yes, it does.
Oh, it does.
It does deteriorate. Cotton has a lot of oil in it, and when it rains, it washes part of this oil out of the cotton, plus it does stain it.
So you need the rain, but also.
Not during harvest time.
But not during harvest
Ah,
time,
got it.
only on the growing season.
Okay.
You think we're worried about rain for the pool party tomorrow? Imagine if your income and your crop and all that is all reliant on the weather. Whether it rains, whether it doesn't rain, too much rain, not enough rain, so.
So have you been getting the kind of rain that we're getting up here down in Clifton?
We have been, and we've had ample rain, and we're hoping for about 2 weeks of dry weather right now, because our cotton is starting to bloom, and you need dry weather.
So
for it to
here's a
bloom.
cotton plant, you said it starts to bloom, the flowers are the blossoms, what are those? Are those the actual, where the cotton's gonna grow?
Excuse me.
There's buds on here, I don't know, I can't.
This is the very small, the first part that comes out on the plant, which is called a square, and then it makes a flower, and then it grows into a bowl this size, which is about half grown, and then it gets to about this size, and I think you saw it in the video. And then sun starts to dry this out, and it opens up in like a flower, similar to that, and then the cotton is on the inside of it with the seeds. And this is the cotton as it comes off of the plant. And this little cotton gin, we'll turn it on and run a couple of pieces through it. And And so here is the seed that it took out of the cotton, and then the cotton is over here, and then it'll go straight into the bale, which you saw, and then it goes to a storage building, as you saw, and then it will be hauled to a mill where they take the cotton and they turn it into thread. You know what a thread is? It's like a small string, and then it's woven into cloth, and then it goes into your clothing.
So those seeds, though, still have cotton around it. They don't have to be perfectly taken apart? You know
No, the gin only separates,
See how there's still,
yeah, there's a little bit of cotton left on the seed. They cannot get it all off the seed, but they
and
get.
they still extract
And then they
the
press
oil?
it, or what do they
Yeah.
do? They press it to
Is
get
that
the
what
oil
vegetable
out?
oil is?
Yeah,
I didn't know what vegetable, I thought that was like tomato.
Well, yeah, there's a cottonseed oil.
yeah, if you'll look on your chips, especially on your chips, it'll have like 3 different types of oil, and one will be cottonseed oil, one will be sunflower oil, and one will be soybean oil.
So I guess there's one of these big things in a town or something, everybody takes their cotton there?
Right.
Is that how it is, like a
Right.
co-op type thing?
Right,
And do you have to pay that person to do that?
yes,
Okay.
which it's farmer owned usually, and so we maintain the gin, we hire our own laborers, and there are a few independent gins that do it, but that's the way it works. I don't know, one more thing I would like to show. Do we have another couple of minutes?
Sure. Is that okay? What is it, the apple, is that what you want?
Yeah, I wanted to show y'all this apple. And this is new to me, but this apple is a picture of the earth. And I want to show you what is most of the earth covered with, what they're covered with. How much? About 75%, right? Okay. The next part of the earth, I don't know if you can see, but it's mountains and desert.
What is that? What's half of 25%? No, you mean
Well, that was about,
Not half, it's more than half. It's more than half.
12.5.
It's more than half.
so the next part of the earth is cities. This is skyscrapers right here, and more desert or swamp areas. Okay. Guess what this area is right here? Farms. And this is the part of America and the world that is used for farmland. We grow food and fiber, cattle. So, as a farmer, we take very good care of this. And our government has a government program that has really helped in teaching us how to take care of our soils. And that is called NRCS, which is Natural Resources and Conservation Service.
We should talk about soil and.
Okay, just wanted to give you a picture of
Well, I know when they were.
what.
So are we running out of farmland?
Running out of farmland? Yes, we are every year having less acres to farm because more highways that are being built, more buildings that are being built, cities are getting larger, moving more out into the countryside. And one other thing, number of people in America that did the farming was 75% 100 years ago. Today, all agriculture farmers that is less than 2%.
Claire
When
had
the
a
kids
question.
leave, if we can have them come touch the different kinds of cotton, the cotton with the seed, without the seed.
One shirt. How much cotton does it take to make one shirt? Like just a ball of cotton?
Yeah, probably what's in that bag there would make one shirt.
So when you guys leave, if it's okay, that they walk by this table, there's pictures, and then this cotton is the clean cotton that already has the seeds removed. And then here are the cotton seeds so they can feel that. And then this is what the cotton looks like before it gets cleaned. And you can feel all the trash and the seeds and stuff that they have to take out of it. But they want to come by and.
Any questions? Last question? Okay. You had a question.
So, I want to ask,
Wait a second. Wait for everyone
when
to
you guys
quiet.
are planting, do you guys have seeds left over, and do you guys just use the seeds?
Oh, good question. We have a question for you, Mr. Hold on. Mr. Bippert. Do you use what seeds do you use? To plant? You don't use these seeds over again to plant. That was the question there.
Actually, there's technology put into the seed that we pay extra for the seed that has the technology in it that makes the plants grow real well in real dry conditions.
Do they get that seed from the cotton seed that's
They do.
extracted?
They do.
And then they do
but
stuff
they grow
too.
that on specific farms in the country that, so it's not contaminated with other types of seeds. And so they're all kept separate on, and there are several different varieties of seed that we grow a different type of seed in South Texas than what they grow in West Texas or in Kansas or in Missouri, because we have a long growing season. We have a long summer here in South Texas, whereas in the states further north, their growing season is real short, so they need a variety of seed that grows real quickly.
And they've created seeds that are more drought resistant for South Texas.
What state has the most cotton produced?
Texas.
Texas has?
Yeah, out of the 12 to 15 million acres, Texas grows about 5 million.
I also noticed on the slides, I don't know if anybody else noticed, but tobacco. Tobacco was grown more for the slaves because it was easier, right? It wasn't as labor intensive, and so they could get more money quick, cash crop.
Right.
For the slaves. So tobacco was a big one in the South. We didn't really talk much about that in my class, more cotton. Okay, any other questions?
Ms. McDermott, you know what I was just talking to Ms. Baker about? We have a family in Iowa that are farmers, and I didn't realize how much technology goes behind the planting and the seeds and the education that the farmers have to have in order to it affects. I mean, there's lots of technology behind it, a lot of science behind it. So
Well, like things that I don't even think about that he has to calculate based on how much rainfall he's had, on the depth of where he plants the seed, whether, right? If it's been a wetter year, then he'll plant not as deep.
Right.
And if it's a dry year, you got to go deeper to try to find the moisture.
And do
you
you
can set
rotate-
you set your planters on your depth. You know, I mean, to an exact science. It's amazing that it's like.
Do you also rotate your fields or whatever? Do you every year use the same one?
Right. We grow wheat and corn and cotton and grain sorghum, and we rotate to which helps keep our soil healthy.
But cotton is the most expensive crop to grow, correct?
Right.
And the
Right.
least cost for the least return?
Well, our cotton prices have really gone down in the last couple of years because worldwide there's been really good growing conditions for cotton and all crops as well, corn, grain sorghum, and wheat. So all of our prices today are.
It's good for consumers, but it's bad for you.
Right.
It's good for the people that have to go buy the stuff, because that means lower prices. But then he doesn't get as much money either. Spencer?
One last question. So you're basically saying that these seeds are genetically modified?
Well, I think so, a little bit, yeah. Okay, any other questions? Well, I think what the best thing would be is that when I say go, I want everybody to stand up, and then we're gonna just move over and let these kids start first, and my class, Kelly's class, is gonna go over that way.